Okay, I am. Okay. I was having a conversation yesterday, I think it was, with Son of Orion. Maybe some of you guys know who that is. And we were just kind of, on the phone talking. He's about to come and stay with us soon, so that's cool. Looking forward to that. I didn't really realize how much we had in common, even though I had met him before. Talking on the phone, and I was just kind of running this certain idea. Like I had this vision about some things, and he said he really felt it, so I figured I might as well make a video about it. Maybe other people will feel it too. Okay, so you know how in science they tell you that earlier in Earth's history there was much more oxygen on the planet. And because there was more oxygen on the planet, things grew bigger, things grew more vibrant. Like grapes would be like the size of peaches, and ants would be like this big, and all that kind of stuff. And everything was much closer together and much more dense. Not like dense, but I guess you could say vibrant. I guess you could say, I don't know, say dense, but I don't want you to get it confused. So like let's say, so the 13th sign, he talks about how we're coming to the end of the 13th cycle. Okay, or we're coming into the 13th cycle. So there've been 12 cycles, are going to the 13th one. It's the last one. So, and all the gods that were here at the beginning of the first cycle are now here, or at the end of the first cycle, at the beginning and the end. At the end of the first cycle, are also here at the end of the 12th cycle. And they're here doing the same thing that they were doing before. But I'll get into that in a second. So at the beginning, there was more. You could attribute oxygen to be the life force, because without the oxygen, you couldn't breathe. The plants couldn't do their thing, and all like that. So there was more spiritual energy on the planet in the beginning. There was more, okay, and now there's less, okay. And the reason why that is because it's another form of contrast. It's to give you another form. Contrast is the best word. It's to give you another dimension of contrast. Okay, so the universe, I'm sure you get that. The universe, everything happens with the breath. Okay, everything goes in and out, in and out. Okay, so even in just in the moment, you have a breath, but it might take you just like a couple seconds to breathe. But the universe, the earth might breathe every, forever, and then the universe might take so long to breathe, but it's going to happen on bigger and smaller scales, but it's all the same thing. As above, so below. So the cycle might take the earth, or just the cycle, like your one breath cycle might take you 10 seconds, whereas the earth's cycle might take 26,000 years. So imagine at the beginning of the first cycle, everything was together, okay? Everything was at its source. And then it started to expand. And then it started to contract again. And then expand and contract and expand. So it moved away from itself, and then it came back into itself. Moved away from itself and come back into itself. And if you ever see, like, just like add another example, if you ever see like these videos or what scientists have come up with, like when a galaxy merges together, like when it comes together, the things that are closest to the center, the things that are closest to the source always stay. They always make it. Okay, they always make it, and they always continue to grow. Whereas the things that are still closer to the outside might get flung out into space, and they move away from all the heat, and they just freeze up, and now they're in hell. They're just in the abyss now. So you have these two galaxies that come together, and they start to swirl around, and like the things that are near the tail might just continue, like, with all the gravity, like, and they might just fling out. They might just fling out into space now, and they'll die because they have no more life force. Whereas the ones that are closer to the middle of the galaxy might experience some turbulence, but if they change like they're supposed to, then they'll be fine. So they come in together, boom, they create something bigger now. Now they've expanded. Now they're two galaxies. Now they're doing it, continue on their cycle. So beginning, more life force. Okay. So just to kind of give you an idea, all right, and this is just, I'm sure you get that, when you have like dimensional visions and you try to bring it into words, it's like trying to express like a movie in ones and zeros with your words. Like, it's kind of difficult, so you can only do so much, but I'll do my best. So it's like, I'll just say certain ones, okay? Certain ones. Certain ones, the Most High sent here, okay? Because the Most High created humans in their image. So they have this gene that allows them to grow, to move past their controllers, and to continue to grow exponentially, just like the Creator. They're co-creators. But they limit themselves because they put this other dark force ahead of them, which is cool for them. That, you know, you can do one or the other. So to set the balance, because obviously he knew that there was going to be these other dark ones that were here trying to fuck everything up, he sent light ones here to set the balance. So at the beginning, when everything was together and there was everybody was good and everything was good, they sent light beings here. And those light beings keep in mind, their energy is constant. They're unchanging, just like the Most Highs. They're unchanging, okay? So their energy will stay the same because that's who they are. That's their identity. That's their nature, okay? But the outside situation is going to change because that's the cycle. That's on the outside. It's going to change. So it's like you as the observer are staying the same, but everything on the outside is changing. So you decide who you want to be or what you want to do next based on what you're seeing and what you choose to do and what you're seeing. So the Most High sent light beings here, and at the beginning everybody was together and everything was good, but they were like children. They were like babies. They needed some type of knowledge, okay? So when certain ones got here, they were like teachers. They gave knowledge. Okay, so they gave knowledge to everyone. They gave the knowledge of the universe and certain things, and that's where you get all your martial arts and all your arts and science. They talk about the Moors and all like that. The Moors were the children of the immortals, and the immortals were the ones that were here that gave all the knowledge. But as everything started to expand, things started to move away from each other. So there started to become a little bit more of a divide. So you had a little bit more dark and a little bit more light. So to try to set the balance a little bit more, those same teachers reincarnated as rulers. So they might be like kings or pharaohs or whatever, you know. And then now they ruled people, but not in a corrupt way like the English people do, you know. They copied the Moorish way or the immortal way, but they do it in a corrupted way. It's like everything's supposed to be a pyramid. You're supposed to have a king on the top, and everything. It's like they support each other. So without the king on the top, the ones at the bottom would exist. But the king knows that without the bottom, its foundation, he wouldn't exist either. So it's like a mutual thing. Whereas with the English system, it's just like everybody just suck the life force out of everything. But eventually, that's just you're fucking yourself really, because you're sucking all your own. It's like you're destroying your own foundation. So eventually, you're just gonna fall, and they're about to fall. You can see that. So they like 13 Sons says, they're copy and paste specialists. So they're gonna copy the Most Highs, but they do it in a corrupted way. So everything they do is gonna be corrupted. Everything that they do is gonna backfire on them. They think that they see 10 steps ahead, but the Most High is seeing 100 steps ahead. So whatever they do, they always fuck themselves. They can never win. All they do is lose, lose, lose no matter what. And all I do is win, win, win no matter what. So rulers, okay? But then, and it worked good for a while, you know, but it continued to expand. So you got farther away from your source. So now there's a contention now. So now there's a lot of wars, a lot of fighting. So certain ones, warriors now. Now we fought for a certain side. Like now we had to kind of impose instead of like being all free, and like it was kind of, we had to impose, like be on the front lines and impose to keep the balance. Because you have this other forces trying to push, so you have the other side that's pushing back. So it doesn't just overtake everything, to give the humans that were here chance to make their choice. Okay, and there's a whoop, and then back again. And in between each, and I guess I can't say exactly, but in between each breath, there was like a intermediary time. And we're in another one of those intermediary times, at least, well, certain ones are in that intermediary time right now. So in between being a teacher and a ruler, you might have lived a lifetime or two as like a monk, or maybe you went back to Sirius or wherever and, you know, meditated and got your new codes for your next mission. Okay, so you'll come back and be a ruler. Then you were a warrior. Okay, but then shit just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So now it's about to pop, just like the debt bubble's about to pop and everything's about to go bad, like the economy, because that's the energy. The currency is about to pop. So everything's about to pop. That's just a real world manifestation of what's really going on. The energy's about to pop. So it's time to, and it's like I guess this is just kind of like, it's kind of popping in my head, so maybe I'll say it's like, you get like some kind of like boil or some kind of infection, and if it pops, it might spread and corrupt everything else around it. So the Most High sees that it's about to pop, and that's not going to be good. So now those same archangels, those same deities, those same whatever, that there were once teachers and then rulers and then warriors, now they're like judges and destroyers. Like Aquarius Sun said in his video, like, go like Nega mode and turn into that big ape and just destroy everything. And Christ will be back, and he will be destroying things as well. So he's not like they make him out to be, you know. Not like they make him out to be. So it's like, but that energy remains the same. So you have to decide who you've been, or who you are, or who you want to be, or who you're becoming in the midst of all those cycles. So whether you can remember your past lives or not, just look at everything is everything. So what happened, it's like every day is a new cycle for you. So if you can look at even how your day goes, it can give you an idea of how your whole cycle has went. Or how your week has went, how your month has went, how your year has went. And they can all give you clues as to who you are. You don't have to necessarily remember something outside of this life. It's helpful. Don't get me wrong, it's helpful. But it's not really, you don't have to. Everything is there for you. If you don't remember, it's because you don't need to remember. The universe is not unfair. It's going to give you exactly everything you need all the time, if your intention is pure and you know. So, yeah. Is there anything else about that I'd like to say? I got like 3 more minutes, 2.5 more minutes. I don't even know what was this video even supposed to be about? Just what we were talking about? Okay. So yeah. I guess prepare yourself for whoever you are, you know. Just find, that's why the 13s I always talk about know yourself, look inside, figure out who you are, do all those things. Because I'm only speaking about certain ones to give you an idea. I'm giving you an example of certain ones, so that, because not everybody's the same. Everybody energy has a certain role to play in the balance. You just have to figure out where you are, and there will be a lot of ones that still make it that didn't have nothing to do with any of that. Maybe they were just a certain energy that at the beginning were there listening to the teachers who came here and followed that path. Like these avatars that come back and they give you like these disciples, and you were one of those disciples, you will make it out because you were listening to the right way. Or you started to go the other way, because now you see everything out here is real bad. Everything's out here real bad. So, you know, and I forgot. I only got a minute left. Okay, hold on. So at the beginning, certain ones would have all their power. So like right now, at the end of the cycle, might still could fly, might still could shoot energy, might still could telepathy and telekinesis. Like and throughout each cycle, we steadily lose power. So right now, we might only have a connection to our higher self, or just have our intuition, or just have a certain amount of our, connection to source. It's like through each cycle, more and more was stripped from us for more contrast. So at the beginning, but at the same time, it was also balanced because other ones had more power too. Like you might, since everything was closer together, you might have to go in your backyard to fight a war, instead of now you got to go all the way across the country or across the sea to fight the war, because everything was more intense. So since everything was more intense, the powers were more intense. But now there's less life force, so things are less intense. So now we don't have all of our abilities and all like that kind of stuff. So it's like 20 more seconds. Yeah. Okay. I said that kind of fast. That was actually something I was really supposed to say. But I think I said it, or at least, I guess I kind of replay it if you didn't get that all, because I think I said it at least as much as I should say about it. But that's kind of an important piece to kind of paint the whole picture for you. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that.